UFO, Strangers in the Night. A friend of mine had some early UFO albums. They were okay, there was a lot of that kind of thing around at the time. There was nothing that particularly excited me in the way that I had been excited by hearing T-Rex or Led Zeppelin. It was very good same old, same old. Soon after that, pub rock arrived, and bands like Dr. Feelgood and Eddie and the Hot Rods held my attention till I saw The Damned, and I then had no use for acts like UFO. Then we got the new wave of heavy metal, which was inspired by punk while also being a reaction to it. Bands like Iron Maiden and Def Leppard were more lively than the pre-punk metal bands. They had a new wave catchiness and brevity. But I resented Iron Maiden because they stole my band's residency at the Swan in Hammersmith. UFO must have been swept up in that movement because the next time I noticed them it was 1979 and they were on TV playing their minor hit single Doctor Doctor. It was fast and catchy and they dressed in straight colourful jeans and simple t-shirts. Though I imagine their fans were still dressed in granny shirts, loon pants and greatcoats. The fashion of the start of the 70s, or that might just be my biased view. Doctor Doctor was a song from this album, but I took little notice because playing music myself, and life in general, was taking me into other directions. The thing about those new wave of heavy metal bands is that the gatekeepers of the heavy metal genre now deny they are heavy metal. But the new wave of heavy metal also revived the fortunes of bands like Budgie and Judas Priest, who had all been around for some time. I happily lived without this music till YouTubers started recommending it. It seems that this album is regularly mentioned in lists of the greatest ever live albums, along with Thin Lizzy and The Who. I listened to it on my iPad, but I knew it needed to be played loud, and as a responsible adult I can only really do that whilst driving. I need the speakers to push air. I need to tap a steering wheel. So I ordered the CD, which is not that easy if you don't want to buy one of the several multi-CD versions. One morning I was awoken by an ominous, insistent banging on my front door. I tripped and fell down the stairs. In a degree of pain I opened the door to receive a special delivery parcel that was obviously a CD. Soft parts of my flesh were swelling, other parts had been scraped and everything ached, so I hoped the CD would be worth it. And it probably was. It has a lot of energy, yet the band are very tight. The songs are tuneful, some are quite riffy, but some are ballads. There are well-sung catchy choruses. There are a lot of songs I remembered. I like that the singer has a real singing voice, not contrived and relying on idiosyncrasies. It is a far cry from the ponderous dirge of much pre-punk heavy rock, and in places the only thing that distinguishes it from the new wave music of the time is that rather than playing solid down-picked eights, the rhythm guitar parts are played with slightly more elaborate patterns. Mostly what I like is the lead guitar of Michael Schenker. I have never really listened to any of his work before, either with UFO, the Michael Schenker Group or the Scorpions. The solos all have the guitar hero flash, but are also very melodic. There are occasional harmony guitar parts. The keyboard playing is everything the songs need without being a distraction. There is plenty of variety. There are songs that heavily feature piano. There's straight out heavy rock riffing. And there are songs with titles like Let It Roll, with chunky rhythms. This is definitely a great live album. And as we know that Schenker left after this and refused to do overdubs, it is probably more genuine than many of the other contenders for Best Ever Live Album. However, it is a band playing songs in the same way that they probably played them every night. So I would still not rate it as highly as The Who's Live at Leeds, with its pile-driving, skull-busting, crazy noise that teeters on the verge of sonic anarchy like a barely controlled explosion. Strangers in the Night, UFO.